Jon Jones dodges justice again. Prosecution dismisses all charges against former UFC champion. Once again, Jon Jones's name was on the brink of legal abyss, and once again, he emerged unscathed. The former UFC monarch, considered by many to be the most talented and controversial fighter in the history of the sport, was facing serious charges in his hometown of Albuquerque, New Mexico. On February 21st of this year, Jones was named as the alleged responsible party in a hit-and-run car accident. According to initial reports, in addition to fleeing the scene, he was also accused of using his phone to terrorize, intimidate, threaten, harass, annoy, or offend another person involved in the incident. Two charges that, if proven, could have definitively stained what remained of his public image. But everything changed after a deeper investigation. The Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office scrutinized every detail of the case and concluded that Jones's alibi was solid. Court documents showed evidence pointing to a compelling truth. Jon Jones was not at the scene of the incident. With the charges dismissed, Jones broke his silence and issued a statement full of relief and reproach. I want to start by thanking the district attorney for carefully reviewing the facts and ultimately fully vindicating me. I have always believed in the importance of truth and justice, and I am grateful that the evidence spoke for itself. The truth is this: I was never there. I never even left my house that night, and all the evidence proves it. In this case, judgment was rushed before real evidence was gathered. The former champion was also aware of the weight of his history. I understand that, in the court of public opinion, the accusations might have seemed credible, especially considering my past mistakes. But by the time they were made public, I had just retired from competition, and that moment was stolen from me by someone who made false accusations to avoid a drunk driving charge and any real responsibility. Jones did not just defend himself. He demanded justice against whom, according to him, fabricated the story that put him back in the headlines for the wrong reasons. I sincerely hope that the Albuquerque law enforcement holds this individual accountable. They not only disrupted my retirement, but also made our police department look negligent. It is deeply concerning that in today's world, a single false accusation can harm someone so much before any evidence is even considered. The news, although favourable for Jones, reopens a topic that has accompanied his career: the thin line between his sporting genius and his history of legal controversies. From arrests for domestic violence, traffic incidents, and doping suspensions, to memorable nights where he became the most dominant fighter to ever set foot in an octagon. Today, Jon Jones is not celebrating a victory in the cage, but in the courts. But the question persists: is he a man unjustly pursued by his past, or an idol condemned to live under the shadow of his own mistakes? The war between Rampage Jackson and MMA Guru heats up. The tension between legendary former UFC champion Rampage Jackson and the controversial content creator MMA Guru has reached a new level. During a recent stream, Guru brought up a dark episode from 2008, reading an article that accused Rampage of being involved in a hit-and-run in which a pregnant woman was injured. Rampage's reaction was not long in coming. In a live stream, the veteran accused him of crossing the line of respect and warned that his words could be considered defamation, even hinting at the possibility of taking legal action. But the story didn't end there. Guru, true to his defiant style, responded on X with an incendiary message. Rampage Jackson said that me reading this article live exposed me to defamation, hinting he would sue me. I thought all this would end with him inviting me to a fight. I considered him more of a man. What an idiot. What seemed like a simple verbal exchange already feels like a bomb about to explode. Colby Covington breaks silence on Tony Ferguson's victory. El Cucui's long-awaited triumph arrived this weekend, his first victory in over 6 long years of hell. And although everyone expected the most venomous Colby, this time he surprised the world with a different tone. He acknowledged Tony's achievement, but didn't miss the chance to offer advice that sounded almost like a warning. Look, Tony and I have had it all. We were friends, enemies, friends again, and then enemies again. But at the end of the day, we're Team USA, brother. I'm happy for him. Super congrats on getting a win, even if it was against an influencer with no combat sports experience. A win is a win. But Covington didn't stop there. With his characteristic edge, he sent a direct message to Ferguson. "Tony, this is the perfect time to hang up the gloves. Go out on a high note, enjoy the sunset, spend time with your family. If you go back to the octagon, you will get hurt, and no one wants to see you like that. We all appreciate you, brother, but no more headshots." Michael Bisping surrenders to Dillon Danis. After his brutal 15-second submission, at Misfits Boxing 22, we witnessed a lightning-fast scene. Dillon Danis didn't need a minute, not even half a round, just 15 seconds to catch Warren Spencer and secure a submission victory. The most unexpected part came afterward. The always direct Michael Bisping, who has never held back from throwing barbs at Danis, admitted on his podcast that what the controversial fighter did was simply impressive. Look, we were going to talk about Tony Ferguson, but right now we're talking about Dillon. He sent me a private message recently reminding me of what he said, and I checked it. He has 6 million followers on Instagram. I don't know if he bought them, but there they are. And now I ask, do we want to see Dillon Danis in the UFC? I say yes. Bisping, unfiltered, acknowledged that beyond the rivalry, Danis's feat was worthy of respect. His opponent made a glaring mistake, yes, but Danis executed it with extremely high skill. He caught him in seconds and put him to sleep. Like it or not, it was impressive. The former British champion closed with a provocative reflection. Dillon is looking to make the leap. Is it time to see him against real elite competition inside the octagon? I honestly would say yes. Ariel Helwani, break silence on Rampage Jackson and Psycho Stew scandal. An absolute storm of stupidity. The most influential journalist in MMA, Ariel Helwani, decided to give his take on the drama that recently shook Rampage Jackson and Psycho Stew. And, true to his style, he did so without mincing words. On the latest episode of his YouTube show, Helwani revealed a curious detail that could have completely changed the story. Rampage personally invited him to join his livestream on the very day the drama erupted. However, Helwani, who was on vacation in Italy, declined the offer. "I was in Italy enjoying time with my family. He told me he wanted to meet up, that I should join his stream, and I thought, oh man, it would have been fun. We could have done something. But I told him no, I'm sorry. And thank God I didn't." That night was when everything happened with his son's professional wrestling show, and then he went live to react to everything. Imagine an alternate universe where I'm sitting next to him in the middle of that chaos. No way did I want any part of that. As the hours passed, Helwani not only stayed on the sidelines, he watched as the footage, reactions and comments flooded the internet. After absorbing what happened for 48 hours, he could only describe the situation harshly. It was an absolute storm of stupidity. And, to be honest, even calling it a storm of stupidity is being kind. What Rampage Jackson did, his way of acting, it was insane. He deserves everything that's coming to him. And the most surprising thing is that so far he hasn't been charged, he hasn't been arrested, he hasn't faced any real consequences. Should he? I don't know, I'm not a lawyer or a police officer, but I do know complete stupidity when I see it, and this was it in capital letters. But Helwani didn't just target Jackson. He made it clear that, in his opinion, everyone involved shares responsibility for the disaster. It wasn't just him. Every single person who participated in this grotesque spectacle bears some blame. They were all there feeding a storm that should never have happened. But the root, the epicenter, the man at the very top of this whole mess is Raja Jackson. He is the one who opened the door to all of this. With his usual critical tone, Helwani ended his commentary, leaving an air of final judgment. This scandal is not a simple passing controversy, but a reminder of how public figures can drag everyone around them into a whirlwind of unpredictable consequences.